You can hear me? You can see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, yeah, somebody called and those are always the numpy function. There are no other numpy functions. Okay. I covered all the functions. Okay. All the recording. How to record? Yeah. So now we are moving to, as I told you that, NumPy is basically one-dimensional arrays, and they are trying to capture the similar kind of variables. This is one of the most important definition you need to understand, the definition between the list and data frame. So when you are working with the real-time project, you will work with multiple variables. Okay, multiple variables means, the variables and respondents. No? So gender is one variable, and let's say age is one variable. Gender is male and female. Age is like number values. So can we store this information in array, and multi-dimensional array? We cannot, because it has different kind of data structure. So as we discussed, we need to store this kind of information in a data frame. So data frame is basically a concept where we can store the multiple types of the multiple data types for each. Even the each variable has different data types. It can We can use that information. So that's what. So whenever you read any data type, read so the data goes and save as a data frame. Okay, understand? You can you can select any variable in the data frame, then that become the array. So if you want to do any manipulation in a data frame at a data frame level, that's called matrix level. That's data frame. Any specific variable, then you need to do with the numpy concepts. Okay, so let's get into the pandas. Pandas is one of the most important, very useful this thing, very useful package. So Pandas stands for Python for Data Analysis Library, which is very popularly used library. The name is derived from the term panel data and economics. This is some word. So what is the cool is basically it can read any types of data, because as being when you read data through CSV, Pandas is basically try to read the data of different variable types and do all kind of slicing, dicing, creating new variables at a data frame level. Data frame levels means more than two variables of different types involved. Earlier also we have done some exercise like my data one plus my data two. They are similar kind of type. But here we have different types of this thing. So that's why we are extending our discussion to the data frame. Whenever you have like data frame related all the matrix kind of applications, so we will do by using the pandas package. Pandas is a package which has a collection of modules, and these modules have different kind of functions which can help you to do the transformation with the different data types in a data frame. So that's why it's so popular, because when you read the data from CSV or TSV from SQL, you have different types of data types are there. That's why default it will store as a data frame. Once you have the data frame, you will manipulate the data by using pandas. So that's what pandas. Why to use the pandas? It has wide range of functionality, such as reading files from the different varieties of data, as I told you that TSV, and functions of filtering, selecting, and manipulating data. Once you have the data, you need to identify the respondent whose age is greater than 30, and you wanted to filter, you want to slice across all the data frame, then pandas is very useful. Pandas has also a lot of plotting capability. I mean, we can also have a lot of visualization capabilities also there. So that's what pandas is very powerful. And yeah, mostly I think people will use when we come to the statistical perspective, most of the statistical analysis will be we will test by using the pandas function. So pandas has a statistical functions which help you for to understand your data using central tendencies, central measures of dispersions. So pandas has a lot of inbuilt modules as well, functions which can give the information about your data sets. That's why pandas is very, very helpful. These things like all the statistical things we can doing by using the pandas, whereas all the inferential statistical test we can use by using the scipy. But if you want to understand the descriptive statistics and other things, this is very useful technique. Okay, now so let's go and see the practical. Well, nothing. I mean, pandas. Once you see the practical only, you will understand. Pandas introduction. So Pandas means it will read CSV data which has multiple data types. So, oh God, I just overwritten this data. No? 1 minute, guys. Okay. So now we are working this data. This is the data that one project data. So we have like passenger number, Titanic data, whether it is survived or not, what is the class, name of the patient, sex, age, siblings, ticket number, fare, cabin number. Can we store this data in a array or multi-dimensional array? We cannot because it has different data types because it has name, string, it has number, it has character. So we need to store this in a pandas. That's why we need to read through the pandas this data. So what we are trying to do here now, we will read this data and see how we can do the slice and dice from the data. Okay, very important thing, guys. Focus. Okay. So this is what. So we are reading this data. Already there here. So first, as I told you that as first we if you want to install the pandas, you need to say pip install pandas. Otherwise, I already installed. That's why I'm not doing that. Otherwise, here you need to say one word saying that install pandas. Okay, then it will install. But it's already there. That's why I'm not installing. So similarly, like as we did a numpy as np as a alias, so pandas as pd also we are doing a alias. So import pandas as pd. When I do this, all the pandas function, all the pandas package related, you know, functions as well as what else, everything will come and incorporate in this working directory as with the alias name as a pd. Okay, that's what. As soon as I say pandas as pd, all the functions and modules will be incorporated into local Python environment, and the alias become the pd. Now, if I want to read the data in pandas, if I am reading the read.csv, so this is the function read underscore csv, which is there in the pandas package. That's why I'm calling the pd.read underscore csv. When I do that, the Python compiler go to pandas and it will call that function read.csv and expects a csv function. So I am reading this data df equal pd.read underscore csv data.csv, and I am reading that and to see the df. Oh, let me do this. Okay, we have changed the data type. Now earlier I saved as data.cs, so I need to copy this. Wait, guys. Hey. This is what the data. Earlier, actually, I saved one data now from NumPy. It's overwritten, so that's why I have to. So now I'm reading this data. When I read this data, this is how you see the df. So df, this is what? This is the complete data. If you want to see the shape of the distribution, so how many rows, how many columns, the shape of the distribution will basically give the rows and columns. If you say df dot shape, so it is saying how many rows we have, like 891 rows and 12 columns are there. Okay. In order to see the top 5 rows, we have like head command from the in pandas. So df dot head. Once it is stored as df, anything we can call from the df. Cf dot head basically 10 will give the top 10 rows of your data. So here you can say if you want to see only top 5, you can say 5. It will give the top 5 rows. Similarly, bottom tail. Tail of default is 5. If I say 10, tail is basically top 10. It will give. Sorry, bottom 10. And if you want to know what is the type, so if I say df dot d type, what should it give? It will give, sorry, d type. It's a sorry, d type. D types. So it will say df dot d type. Basically, for all the variables, it will give the what is the type of variable. Passenger ID integer, survivor is 10 integer, P class. So that's where we need to correct the scale. When we discussed about the scale, sometimes the integer will come as a object to come as integer. For example, survivor coming as one, in 64, but survivor 1 means survivor 0 is not survivor. So we need to convert this as the object. That's where we need to do all the changes when you build the model. So similarly, if you want to see the column types, you need to say df dot columns. So down I already done. So we can see all the variable types, and this is how we will see the type of data. ఇటు నుంచి వెళ్ళొచ్చు ఏం కాదు. So if you want to access any simple variable, there is one command df of, and if you, because it is the multiple variables are there now. If you want to access any variable, you just need to say df data frame hyphen of, you just need to say that survivor. Then you can only see that variable data. Okay, df of survivor. Here, if you want to see some other variable, let's say df of ticket, then what you can do, you can only get the data. Only single variable you can process like this. So you can only see the ticket. Yeah, this is how you have to practice this, by the way. So that's where you can see only ticket information. And similarly, if you want to see the two, if you want to save this only two variable information, you need to say df of survivor comma 6. That means you can only see these two variables. Okay, then this is how you can choose and select whatever variable you want. Like in NumPy also we have done this. No? So any variable, if you want, you just need to specify that data frame name and this bracket and refer that variable name. So by that you can only get that variable. This is how you can slice and you can select the variables. Now, if you want to select some of the more than one variables, like if you want to select any position cell, because when you store the data, it becomes a matrix form. When it's a matrix form, we have rows and columns. So iloc is basically a function which is there in Pandas, through which we can select combination row or column of anywhere. You can select either case, either respondent, or multiple columns or multiple cases also. So now I say dloc of iloc of colon 5. What it does? If I say colon, it will take all the respondents. Colon 5 means top 5 variables. So say colon 5 means for all the first 5 variables, it has given information for all the people. All the variables, it has given first top 5 people ka information. So that's what selecting rows. Selecting rows by their position. So I am saying df.iloc colon 5. That means this colon 5 gives the 5 respondents information for all the variables. That's what it does. Okay. If I want to iloc of only 10, only one respondent information, I will get only one respondent information like this, first row information, colon 1. If I want 100 people information, I will get like 100 people information like this, 100 rows and 12 columns. So this is what you can select the rows. Similarly, you can select the select the columns and their positions also. I want dloc of colon 2, only first 2 variables I want for all the people. So this colon basically, when I say this colon for all the people, and whatever number I mentioned, it will give the number of variables. I say 2, let's say 12, it will give the 12 column information. So before column, if I don't specify anything, it will give all the people column. 12 means only 12 columns. Similarly, same notation if you use here, what I'm trying to df.iloc, all the rows, comma, colon 2. That means what I'm trying to do, for all the people I'm taking top 2 values of the data. So if I want to take only first 10 people ka top 2, then if I say 10 colon 2, I will get first 10 people ka top 2 information I will get. Understand, guys? Hello? This is basically slice and dice. Okay. df.iloc. No, 10th location, second info, first 10th patient ka, sorry. 10th patient ka 2 information. I am taking passenger 11 and survivor 1. Let's go to 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 means 9th one. Respondent, if you see his information, is P class and survivor. His passenger ID is 11 and survivor is 11 because it starts with 0. That's why it's become 11. Okay. Like that. So similarly, if you want to select it, if I want to select all the people whose is like survivor equal to 3, any specific conditional, this is what basically slicing and dicing. You can select and put this data into some other data frame. So I can say this df1 equal to df out of df1. Then if I say df1, I only will have the data whose p class is only 3. This is what slicing and dicing, nothing great we are doing. Because when you are working with the machine learning, you are able to quickly slice, dice, sort, find, delete, add, manipulate, modify. These are the operations you need to do on the data file. That's why you need to become very familiar with all these commands. Okay. Then yeah, that's what. Any two variables you can take, any specific column. Any these guys go and read in the net. It's not a Greek and Latin. Okay. Any location I say, if I want to 31 to 35 rows of the data, what I need to say, dloc of 30 to 35. That means 30 to 35 all respondent data it will print. This is like print the first 5 rows and second and third columns only. So column 5 for rows and 1, 2, 3 for columns. That's what it is done. Okay, I told you first is comma is the separator. Column 5 means first 5 columns. Comma 1 column 3 means first 3 columns. Okay, that's how it is done. It is not Greek and Latin here. Okay, now sorting also, like sort a d of dot sort by age. If I want to sort the data by age, then I can do that also. And similarly, I wanted to save the same data into Excel. There actually we have done to TSV. Here we need to say df to Excel. Very, very important. So if you want to save the content from data frame to Excel, you need to say df dot to underscore Excel, see users. And if I say like this, then what will happen? This complete data will be saved under there is a function I need to install. Wait. I didn't run all the cells. It looks okay. If I say restart run all, it will run everything. This is how it will run. When it is running, it will say start, slicing, dicing, sorting, location. Because tomorrow, when you are reading the data, you need to specify what is your input data, what is your output data. You need to specify the location of the variables. If I say location like this, it will take the dloc of, I can say like this. If I say dloc 30 to 30, sorry, not this one, dloc of 1, 3. That means what will happen? 2 and 3. So I need to say here df iloc of 10, 15 means 10, 15 becomes all your independent variable. Df iloc of some colon comma 10, then I say it becomes your dependent variable. That's what, if you want to specify input and input variable as well as output variable in your model, there actually you read the data in df and try to give that to. So that's where it's very useful. Okay, I need to install this module Excel video. So if it is saying it's not there in the module. When you get this kind of error, what you need to say, copy. Here just add one more cell and say install this one. It will install, then it will, because this function is there in this package Excel WD. Because this is not there, that's why it is giving error. So now we need to install this, then run this. So now it's installed. Now I run this, it will come. See, it's done. So now if you go to the data, go to time modifier, data modifier. This is where your data is completely exported into the CSV. Understand? So this is what Pandas. So Pandas is very powerful. As I told you that, it is going to be useful. Most of the data sets will be in the different data type. That's why we will read the data by using Pandas data frame. Once you read the data Pandas data frame, you need to check the type of variables by using the, if you want to assess the variables in the data type, df dot columns. If you want to see like head, that will give the top 5 columns. If you want to see the bottom value, that is the tile command. And if you want to select anything, rows and columns, you can select df of that variable names, you can give it. Or you can also choose by using the iloc operation. You can sort it, you can filter it, and you can only filter some cases and save into other data frames also. And you can also save the Pandas data frames into Excel also. Okay, guys. So what we can do tomorrow, we'll do the descriptive statistics using Pandas and visualization. Okay. Okay, guys.
Sir, not
Okay,
tomorrow.
Why? Tomorrow exam, then day after tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thursday.
Whenever
evening.
you have free, guys, you guys give me the link and tell me, because I don't know now what is the status. Okay, na?